a freshman student in our school involved in speech and debate, mock trial, TSA, science Olympiad, and academic team. Through his involvement in these competitive programs, Arnav has learned what it is to win and what it is to lose. It's how society views these concepts.
Today, in Arnav's speech, a moment frozen in time, he wishes to challenge us to review our perceptions of failure and what it means to succeed. Ladies and gentlemen, Arnav Iyengar.
They say you missed. And well, they're right. The ball sailed over the crossbar. But what they never saw is that he's still there, standing on that penalty spot. Not in 1994, of course, but in every conversation across the globe that confuses failure with identity. That was Roberto Baggio, and formerly and infamously known as the man who died standing. For those of you who don't know the story, Roberto Baggio was a professional Italian soccer player, creating real moments of beauty and poetry on the pitch, scoring goals left and right, all with a broken knee, an injury that was sidelined most. However, when that elbow came to the final line, and the largest stage in the World Cup final against Brazil, the game came to a draw. And so, it went to penalties, which leads us back to where we started. That miss made the headlines. His entire career reduced to one moment, when his life was made of millions. So I'd like to ask all of you one question. What kind of greatness do you respect? The one that wins, or the one that stays? Because true legends don't hide from their roots. They embrace them, and they look at them with a new perspective and new eyes. So, when we do the same, we do realize that Roberto Baggio did miss that penalty. But we also realize that we missed the point. So, to get to the heart of how failure becomes a name tag in the first place, we'll first look at the outside factors that teach us how to wear it. Then, we'll move in to see how it moves throughout our daily lives unnoticed and unchanged. And finally, we'll rewrite the rules. So when we miss, we don't disappear. Firstly, we don't just fear failure. We fear being flattened. I mean, one moment, one mistake, and suddenly, you're the kid who bombed the speech, the one who failed the test, the one who choked. And that label sticks. It's harder to peel off than that clear sticker on the birthday gift you're getting your best friend. Because Roberto Baggio didn't just miss. He became the miss in the eyes of the public. And we do this to ourselves too. Because we treat failure like a tattoo inked across our face for the world to see, when in reality, it's just a bruise. And more importantly, a bruise that will heal. And social media doesn't help with this either. I mean, I can assure you, you're never going to see someone post, just failed my chemistry test, feeling absolutely ethereal, you know? Rather, we do scroll at 3 a.m. through filtered winds, filtered lighting, and ask law, and wonder, are we the only ones who have ever broken before? It's like the world just check the mark, and decide that's all there is. A 2024 BMC psychology study found that within just 2 weeks of social media abstinence, significant mental health improvements were recorded. Things such as anxiety, depression, fear of missing out were all seen on a decrease within those 2 weeks, as things on the opposite side of the spectrum, such as body image, self-perception, and many other things, were seen slowly peaking within those 2 weeks. However, there are 2 reasons why this study is actually important. Firstly, the demographic. All the participants were between the manipulatable ages of 14 through 17. Secondly, when the report concluded, the study didn't. Because after these 2 weeks, social media was inevitably entered back into these teenagers' lives. And what they saw was within just 3 hours out of those entire 2 weeks, reversal effects were already shown. The same things seen on a decrease such as anxiety, depression, and fear of missing out were slowly seen curving back up within just 3 hours. So, from this piece of evidence, we see that the issue isn't just that we as humans fail. It's that the issue is that it's within our human nature to do so. Which leads me into my second point. It's not just about what happens when the label sticks. It's about what happens after. Because that label follows you everywhere. Job interviews, schools, workplaces, you name it. In quiet rooms, where you practice apologies, you'll never be. Psychologists call this identity threat. Renowned psychologist Claude Steele describes an institutionalized study that fear being reduced by one event can change behavior entirely. So, what does this mean? It means that the impact isn't just personal, it's collective on our advancement as a society. Because when it all affects us, we see that futures narrow, skill stagnates, and curiosity dies. So, I can guarantee that we've all had experiences like this, I'm sure. Me personally, I once walked off the debate stage, considering quitting the activity altogether because I lost my qualifying spot by 1 speaker point. And sure, it sucked, but it didn't just feel like I was exposed by the label attached to me. It felt like the walls were slowly closing in. The same pressure applied by coaches, family, peers, all expecting you to do well, couldn't be achieved. So the walls slowly smushed me into a sort of deformed pancake with imposter syndrome. That's what I would describe it. And that flattening changes how you move throughout the world. Labeling theory shows that a kid called trouble will only act to match that label because it was internalized at their youth and given to them. A student called lazy will only act to match that label because that is what the people they look up to, such as the same people, their family, their teachers, their peers, and the world expects them to be. And that's how one single label and one single mistake becomes it. Because real life isn't a frame. Because no single photograph can contain an entire human life just as complex as all of yours. Because real life is what real, no pun intended. So, how do we fix this? Because the public loves a snapshot because it's easy. Firstly, it's imperative that we band together as a society. We need to start petitioning against institutions, as schools need to start rating things such as a revision process. So a kid at that manipulatable age doesn't understand that a single grade and a single number determines their worth. Workplaces workplaces need to start running things such as blameless postmortems that treat mistakes as data, so that junior staff don't sweep those same mistakes under the rug out of fear of being punishment and out of fear of being fired and not being able to support the family that they love. But it doesn't start with our ability to band together as a society. It starts with us. Because one thing that we can do right now is to change our daily culture. We need to start treating the returners the same as the ones who never fell. Because it takes resilience to stay at the top on the podium, but to fall flat on your face, get back up on your 2 feet, and climb the ladder to glory once again takes perseverance. So, we can offer a helping hand to the ones who fell, so they don't stay on the ground. And if we change our daily mindset, we can change our daily practice. See, after this debate tournament, I came home, and I realized 2 things. 1, maybe this isn't for me, and 2, the issue wasn't just with me. The issue was with how I treated things. We need to start treating our mistakes like softball updates. I'm only sure when your $100 school Chromebook shuts off in the middle of a round, but necessary to improve, to advance, to evolve. Because if Roberto Baggio had an audience that treated his entire career rather than just that one miss, that same miss would be a footnote, not the essay it is today. So I'd like to ask you all to practice being that audience. Force the room to hold complexity, challenge the joke, challenge the frame, challenge the label. Do these things, and we can see more people at the table of possibility. Help the ones that fell, and expecting that they will help you too. And we can see more people at the table of curiosity. Treat these mistakes as not who you are, and instead of pushing each other back to launch ourselves forward, we can all stand hand in hand and step forward together. Because Roberto Baggio didn't actually disappear into that mist. He came back to the pitch the very next Saturday dreary morning, stepped back up to the spot, and tried again. So, inevitably, the next time you step up to take your penalty, you feel the stadium lights beaming down upon you, you feel the tension in the air. You shoot, and you miss. Don't be brave. Don't be scared. Be brave. Smile. And say, I'm still here. Because that is what true